And we are recording. I'm Rick Moore, MSO News Sports, and happy to be joined now by Beyond Windows with the CEO of Beyond Windows, Beyond Walls, with Al Wilson, who is the CEO and founder of Beyond Walls, and to Josie Santos. She's the Community Engagement Director. And welcome. It's kind of interesting, Al, that you're on the road. Tell me what's going on right now.
Well, for the past, since March, we were collecting stories from Lynn youth on what they were going through during what was first times of COVID, and then obviously during times of human rights and real acts of racism on a national stage. And we wanted to hear from the Lynn youth about what they were feeling, what they were experiencing, not just what they were troubled with, although there was certainly an awful lot of hardships this year on everyone. I would say none more than the youth, but also who was their heroes during this time? What were they hoping for in the future? And they could share that through a variety of means: spoken word, poem, written story, drawings, photography, and then it would both turn into artworks that we were going to install in October, or it would additionally inform some of the artwork that professional artists were going to install in the city. And so now flash forward to current day, and we're in the field actually helping facilitate this artwork get up on walls. And so I'm joining you actually from the road in the truck on my way to fetch what is a third paint order, some very special paint. That's me driving all the way to Quincy to get it. So
I want to get into the logistics of this at some point. I'm not sure today's a good day to do that. We could do it on a follow-up. But the idea of making positive action, getting kids and others to work in the community and try to, deflect or ignore some of the bad stuff that's going on. Josie, this seems like an amazing idea. Are there a lot of high school kids who get involved in this? And what's the effect? How do you get them involved in, what do they do?
We're using a lot of resources like a Zoom and the Google Hangouts to hear the kids, and the kids have the chance to submit. And with the help with a lot of facilitators from the organization, from the Lynn Public School and the other school, they help the kids like, okay, we can put it there, how you feel, and submit to be on the walls. Was a little challenge because, in the same time the school was torn to be online too, and to help them to how can use the resource they have to participate in the project, to finish the school, all this, the isolation because the virus, and was a little challenge, but this is coming very well. The kids get excited when they start to see like, oh, they hear my history. Oh, this was piece of the why I design, and I participate. And I was in this day, the Beyond the Walls came together in my organization, in my school. And I think like as the network kids doing is better to us. One communicate with the other one. They use better social media to the we using, and this was help us, to collect all the voices from the kids in the community.
Josie, do the kids do they get published otherwise besides a mural? I mean, how are they involved in this? Because as Al was mentioning, and I want to get more on this, a lot of the stuff is, I'm guessing a lot of it's done by professional artists, because the murals that I've seen that you guys have posted and that are around town are incredible.
What's the question? Sorry.
Well, how did the kids get published? Is it strictly by murals, or Al was mentioning poems and things like that? Do they get published otherwise? Is there other things that the kids can show as an accomplishment, as you said, in creating something in addition to the murals, or does it all have to do with the murals?
Oh, they creating addition to the murals, but the artists, I can share a little bit more about the Inside Out, and the Amplifying was the one who's gonna work with the piece the kids submit. And can you talk a little bit more about?
Sure. So there's really four ways that the youth stories turn into art forms. One is they share their story, and then we're working with a nonprofit from Gloucester, who's actually our project partner on this project, called Harbor Voices. And Harbor Voices does audio recordings of the stories of what the youth are going through. And then in the spring, we're hopefully, when we have less COVID restrictions and it's safer to do so, going to hold an event where you'll actually be in this immersive environment that Harbor Voices does so well. It's got a laser show, sort of fog machine, so immersive environment where you actually hear the stories, you hear these audio recordings of the youth, and it's pretty powerful stuff. Josie mentioned Inside Out. That's another partnership that we've formed, Beyond Walls is formed with a French artist named JR. Inside Out has appeared all over the globe, actually, often on border walls, but it's portraits of people, black and white largely. And in this case, it's portraits of Lynn youth, ages 5 to 21. And we either had these submissions through their stories, or we went to where the youth are in our partnership with Boys and Girls Club, Lynn YMCA, Girls Inc. Josie, who else am I forgetting here?
Great Lynn Family Service.
Sorry. Yeah, Lynn Youth and Family Services and others. And we actually got these photographs of Lynn Youth, and those are actually getting blown up into giant portraits and appearing on a wall in Lynn. So they're giant wheat paste pieces that are basically giant photographs that are going to be on a partnership that we formed with an organization that really serves Greater Lynn in a very meaningful way. So the youth will actually see their pictures up. And then Amplifier, which is Shepard Ferry's design studio. Shepard Ferry, you might know, is the artist that somewhat famously did the Obama Hope poster, but is really a renowned street artist, and taken some of the work that the youth submitted and turned those into, their drawings into high fidelity versions. And those are also going to get blown up and pasted in the downtown. And we've got some amazing young budding artists here in Lynn, as well as the designs of Shepard Ferry and Amplifier, which largely deal with humanitarian, human rights, as well as sort of best practices. So those are turning into posters that will appear in many Lynn-based organizations and businesses throughout the downtown. We've partnered again with North Shore Latino Business Association to help us facilitate that. But you'll see those, and those are sort of public service announcements, but done through an artistic way. And then finally, we have a new cast of professional artists, both local, regional, and international, that happen to be here in the United States that we've brought to Lynn, several of which have looked through the portfolio of what the youth had submitted, which we'd organized into themes. And they've looked at those themes and they've looked at those stories, and that's actually helping inform the artwork that they put up on the walls. And that's why I'm running to get paint right now, is to help facilitate those artists putting up those pieces.
It sounds incredible. Josie, how do the kids get involved? And what do you see when they get involved? Because everybody knows, when you put a bunch of kids on a football field, they're going to work together and you got to form a team as a coach. This is something really different. This is something that it shows something, I don't know, community effort, great lesson in civics, but also you've got something concrete, so to speak, that looks fantastic throughout the city. How do the kids get involved with this, and what's your role with it?
Practically, I'm doing a lot of one-on-one with the kids, and I am in Lynn, working in Lynn for more than 14 years as a volunteer in different projects and in different school, and I'm part for the multicultural society here for the North Shore. Was the college students working with the kids and trying to get a more possible for them background from the community. And this is facilitate so we can be more close to the youth. We, the parents, where they work, the bodega when they shopping, and we. I love soccer. I am Brazilian, and the conversation around the large population from the Latino here was about the soccer play, and this is facilitate. And the other thing was the good is the food too, and food brings people together.
Mhm.
And there are some areas that have this kind of group of the youth. They sit down to take a coffee or buy some tortilla or grab some to-go food, and some strategic point in the city so we can meet with these kids. And the other way is facilitate was like the way some family was building. Some kids live here with like someone is like the person take care of the kids here, and the parents sometimes using the country, and some point they identify you as like someone advisor for them, part of the life, and they want to share with you what's going on in this 2020. And this was the the the, the moment that you say, okay, we capture this, we gather this, and it's coming with the project from the organization from Beyond Walls, like let's go make this real with the public arts, like let's go make this here with the artists we're gonna work in this year. And this was a big point. And now in this moment we are now to the installation. A lot of kids, I want to participate, but we cannot put a large group of the people together to do the installation.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, this is the last couple a week, and the kids take the COVID test, have to prove to us, like okay, I am COVID negative, so I can be here, so I can help and facilitate some project, and have a be a challenge, but we can see how the kids get excited, and they was like a wait for the final project to see, look what I'm part of.
That's amazing. Al, what
And the
am I
partnership,
missing? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, and just to mention some of those partnerships, the partnership with Dr. Tutwiler, the superintendent of the Lynn Public Schools, and LPS as a whole has been fantastic, and their messaging to all schools, all youth regarding the project. Boys and Girls Club, another partner who messaged out to their youth and allowed us to work with their summer campers. The Lynn YMCA, which did the same and facilitated us working directly with the youth this summer to facilitate submissions. And then Girls Inc., which was another party that we actually worked with and spent a whole day with. So there was a number of parties, and I'm forgetting some, but that direct work with their campers, Leap was fantastic. So it's really, it sort of takes a it takes a village, but there's so many other great organizations in Lynn to partner with. And then ultimately a partner with Lynn Community Health Center, who's really been doing a fantastic job during this pandemic, has led the testing really for the region. And working with them to make sure that, not only were the youth safe and getting tested that we were working with, but also the staff and the assistants and the artists. They've just been they've been a joy to work with. So it's been a lot of fun. And then outside of the art, we also partnered with them on we designed some remote hand washing stations and did that with a number of other different partners. So it's taken 2020 has been a wild ride for everyone, but for us is sort of doing tactical work in the street and creative placemaking. There's been a lot of community-led need and community-led challenges. It's just been different this year, with that community-led need was largely being done virtually because it just wasn't safe to be together. So we're somewhat relieved and happy to now be installing the artwork so that the youth can see that their voices were heard and now can be seen.
As I said, maybe in another time I want to ask about the logistics, and I have a million more questions. But in wrapping this up, guys, I don't quite know what question to ask, but to me, there's a much bigger picture here than what it is you're actually doing. And by that, I mean, given the climate in the country, given the fact that Lynn is one of the high risk communities at the moment with respect to COVID and so on, and Lynn is such a diverse community, it seems to me, I don't think the model for this is Habitat for Humanity, but that's what comes to mind. You have so many different people working together for a cause, but as a former educator, to see, for kids to understand, you work together, you got an idea, with a little help, you can get that thing come to fruition. And I'm not sure the right final question to ask Al and Joseph, but maybe you could both comment on that, on the social aspect, the good that you're getting from this, the good that the city's getting from it, and certainly the good that the kids are getting from it.
Al?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think some of it's hard to quantify, right? Because we did a mask program, and all of the stuff that we did that was responsive to COVID-19 was informed from what really Lynn Community Health Center was putting out, as well as CDC and the World Health Organization best practices that really said, in lieu of a vaccine, the best thing that you can do is wear a mask and wash your hands. And so that that had us hire 3 local seamstresses. We built a mask program featuring some of the artwork that we put up on the street. And because we've had such great community support, we were able to sort of, you donate to get 2 masks, and that also allows us to give away 2 masks. We've given well over 1,000 masks out to Lynn Youth. And then our hand washing stations, which was really fed by community need. Lynn Community Health Center, My Brother's Table, the largest soup kitchen in the North Shore, the Lynn Shelter Association, and the YMCA, who was housing parties. They were all part of a group called the Vulnerable Population Task Force, set up responsive to COVID-19. And they were saying, we need hand washing stations and we need them now. And because we've had such great relations with them, we were able to, design and build hand washing stations in partnership with Lynn Vocational Technical Institute. And those hired 2 Lynn Tech kids, get those on the street. So I think in that way, the community of Lynn is just a fantastic community. There's a lot of people that are trying to do good, and we with creative address any need. It feels great, but like the impact, we don't know that had. I mean, really, the station saved lives, the mask saved lives, but you don't know. But it's for the youth. Been a really very scary time. And hopefully it gives them some joy to see that their story was heard, and that they now get to, in a safe way, wearing a mask and staying socially distant, they can actually the street side and see where there's no venture open to everyone. It's free. And, hopefully in a year where they've seen everything get canceled, I mean, no 4th of July, they're not going to have a Halloween. They've had none of their normal annual sort of experiences. Hopefully that gives them something.
Josie, some final, I'm sorry, I think Al is going off into down the expressway there. We're losing him a little bit. Josie, some final thoughts maybe?
Yeah, but I think what you're doing now is practically celebrate we overcome to 2020. You want to finish this strong and see we are united, and really represent the community and make sure you give what we're doing in 2020. We can doing the best you can do to pass this for this generation. You want to leave some markers here for the 2020 for Lynn and for the youth.
Al, I'm going to give you the final word. Hopefully we'll catch all of it this time.
No, it's just, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on. And, it's, I think it's a valuable community resource that you're providing. And we certainly appreciate the ability to to shine a light on a city that we think is just a great city in Lynn, and fantastic organizations here in Lynn. So thank you so much.